Now let's proceed to the second question. The second question is also from the reading section. It's a passage-based question. If you read the passage, it basically talks about the relationship between parents and their children and how parents need to listen them more effectively for a healthy, prosperous family to build. Now, if I look at the questions based on the passage, the first 4 questions that you're going to get in this particular passage are carrying 2 marks each. After that, the next 4 questions are vocabulary based questions carrying 1 mark each. So if I proceed with the first one here, it says on the basis of your reading of the above passage, answer the following questions in 30 to 40 words each. Keep in mind the word limit and then answer the question. The first one says write 1 advantage and 1 disadvantage of allowing every family member to be part of the decision making process. If I recall the beginning part of the passage here, specifically para 3, and you read it carefully here, it talks about how today every member of the family has a say in every decision, and precisely this becomes one of the positives of the entire process. So it says which also promotes a sense of togetherness and bonding. Clearly I have picked this up as an advantage. And moving further, if I recall the first para, how the first para was talking about the negatives of this entire process. See what it suggests, that by the time the order is restored and a decision is arrived, tempers have risen, feelings injured, and there is at least one person grumbling. And for that matter, you can also read from the beginning part how this is an entire scene of chaos. So if I pick this as my disadvantage, because I need to give both, clearly my answer can easily be written as advantage. Everybody participates in the decision making process, promoting a sense of togetherness and bonding. And for disadvantage, I can simply say multiple suggestions lead to chaos and delay in decision making. This clearly justifies the requirement of the question. Moving on, B says, in today's world, what are parents asking their kids? For this, I can easily go to the 4th passage and read how we empower our kids to take their own decisions from a very early age. We ask them the cuisine they prefer, the movie they want to see, etc., etc. This is what parents are demanding, or for that matter, expecting them. Thus, when I write the answer, I can use this information saying to empower their kids in today's world, parents ask them to make their own decisions about their choice of food, movie, the holiday destination they want to go to, and the subjects they want to study. All these are picked up from the exact information given in the passage. Then question number C says, which 2 pieces of advice does the writer give to the parents? This can be easily picked up from the last part of the passage, which is para 6. And if you read it carefully, it says, listen to your children and their silences. Ensure that you keep some time aside for them. Insist that they share their stories with you. So if I pick up this information, I can easily write my answer as listening to their children is the first advice given by the writer to the parents. He adds that parents should listen to their children's stories as well as silences. He also advises them to spend quality time with their children. Clearly, you have justified the marking scheme. Moving on, the last question in this particular segment says, the passage supports the parents. How far do you agree with the author's view? Support your view with a reason. This has to be picked up from the central idea of the passage. This can be an opinion that you share based on the parent's outlook. Therefore, an answer can be as simple as, I completely agree with the author's views given in the passage because he suggests modern parents to follow the process of democratic upbringing with their children by allowing them to participate in decision-making process which will make them independent. So, if I can easily recall these 4 questions, the marking scheme that you have to strictly follow here is that for each correct answer you get 2 marks, and therefore if you get all 4 right, you easily score 8. Now we get to the second part of the same passage. It says, on the basis of your reading of the above passage, answer the following. Here the A part says the synonym of hurt as given in paragraph 2 is, you can easily go back to para 2, read it carefully and remember hurt is giving you a negative sentiment. So if I read the words carefully, I easily observe that the closest word to this would be injured and therefore injured is your correct answer. Remember, vocabulary has to be done contextually, not on dictionary basis. Then question number B says the word which means the same as a style or method of cooking in paragraph 4 is. So you do have options, but you have to find the word from paragraph 4. So if you go to paragraph 4 and read it carefully, it says we empower our kids to take their own decisions from a very early age. We ask them the cuisine they prefer. This is the style of cooking that is being referred to. So if I look at the given options here, clearly the answer should be option number 1, cuisine. Then question number C says the antonym of agreeable as given in paragraph 5 is. So if I go back to paragraph 5 and I read it carefully, agreeable means something that you can accept. You have to find its opposite. So clearly the word has to be a negative word from the given set of words here. So if I read the part here, how then do we reach our children through all the conflicting views and make the voice of reason be heard? Conflicting views refers to opposite ideas. So clearly agreeable tends to be the antonym and thus conflicting is the most appropriate answer. And lastly, question number D says the antonym of simple as given in paragraph 6 is. So if you go to paragraph 6 and you read all the given set of information carefully, you have to pick up an opposite word of simple, and from the words given here, clearly there is only one word among the options that can match here, and that part is in the last line. Step into their world. It is not as complicated as it sounds. And that's exactly the opposite of simple. So among the given set of options here, the correct answer should be option 2 becomes the most appropriate answer. So one thing that you have to keep in mind here is that these vocabulary section questions belong to the marking scheme of 1 mark for each question, and therefore if you get all 4 right, you easily score 4, and thus the entire passage 2 carries 12 marks. So I hope this was as simple as the first passage. With this we go to the next section of the paper, that is section B, writing and grammar section. Let's proceed to question number 3.